Hey, welcome to Straight Axle Dubs. Today we're going to be adjusting the accelerator pump on a Solix carburetor. Most of the Solix carburetors are about the same, a little bit different linkage, but the idea is you want to have the full travel of the throttle arm should be, when you move it, should be pumping fuel out of the accelerator pump. And currently we've got a major flat spot, like when you shift gears. This is it's still got a vacuum advanced distributor. It's still 6 volt, which doesn't matter, but yeah, it's trying to get rid of that flat spot. So I'm going to show you real quick here how far the throttle opens at full throttle.
So there's full throttle.
What you want to determine is how far you go. Yeah, you gotta hold that one open, and I'll pull this. Can you see the squirter there? It's the one back here.
Yes, I can see the little bar.
Okay, so as you see it start squirting as I'm moving, as I continue to move, it'll squirt until it stops squirting. Does it stop squirting?
Yes.
Okay, so now look at where the throttle is. Go ahead and that's where we are with that's the maximum amount of accelerator pump that we can get. But when we push the gas pedal, we're way down here and we get nothing extra. So that's what we want to adjust. So we're going to take off the carburetor and you know, that's remove the
barrel nut.
Yeah, barrel nut. This is generally an 8mm. Mine's a screw.
On some, like on my car with dual carbs, you can have one that's a flathead screw.
Yeah. And I put new hose on this, so it's nice and tight. Screwdriver.
I got it. Oh.
Move the fuel line. It's a mechanical pump, so there won't be any pressure built up. All right, nothing significant. Okay, so there's those two out of the way. And then one trick to removing these carburetors is take your distributor cap off to give you more room. So that, drop it over here to the side. And then if you remove the rearward nut first, it makes the other nut easier to take off.
Rearward meaning towards the rear of the vehicle.
Always. Learn that from Mr. John Muir.
And also you got to make sure you get your choke wire out of the way.
Yep.
Fiddle.
Careful, don't break that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rear one's off now. The front one, try to get a couple spins on that. No, you can't see it. This is one of those do by feel kind of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's upside down. Got to think about all those things. And I'm thinking wrong. There. Now, I've reused the gasket on this carburetor.
I replaced it recently too.
And well, yeah. So you can reuse it as long as you don't destroy it, as long as it's not stuck. Like I said, I've reused this one so many times, or the prior one.
Yeah. And if y'all saw the last video where I worked on this car, I did, and that was probably April or May, I replaced the gasket just because, you know, when I pulled it off, it had been reused so many times, it just ripped apart.
Okay, everything's off?
Yes, then you got to be careful too to not dip and tip it sideways because there will be fuel in it. You don't want to dump all the gas out.
And during this whole process, we want to have fuel in it because
we're trying to.
We gotta be pushing the pump. So here's the pump adjustment. It's this little plastic nut here. Look, I even put a spacer on there, thinking that I needed to tighten it up more. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that extra nut. It's kind of tight. Let me get that 7. I believe it's a 7mm. Yep, it's a 7. Yeah, you know, I'd read something where someone had just squished it down to make sure it pumped or whatever, and then, you know, looking at a little more information, it's like, hey, this is not doing anything through the whole progression of moving the whole thing, and that's what you want. Oop, now it's dripping gas on me.
Another note, I had cadrons on my car, which is a Solex car, but those are dual, and on duals it's also really important that you get the pump shot synchronized, or at least adjusted similarly on both, so you're not spraying too much gas on one and not enough on the other.
Yeah, it's not actually the quantity of gas, it's the amount of time you're squirting gas. So yeah, so that gives me a little bit of distance there, that just because, you know, that's the pump all the way out, pulling out on this. And to make it squirt, this thing pulls, this pulls, and it pulls that back. So I barely want it touching. It's getting a little tough to turn.
You also got to be careful with this. So if you're not using a wrench, if you're using a socket, you don't want to just ram on it, because being plastic, you can destroy it pretty easily.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that significantly tight. And, you know, you also want to check that, get rid of any play. See, as soon as you move the throttle, the throttle linkage, you want it to push on the pump, which it's doing. It's pushing it. Okay, so I guess we need it to pull. So I need it way tighter. That's the issue. I needed it tighter so that it has more pull. Because what's going to happen is when I pull the throttle, it's going to push. So yeah, I was right in putting that extra spacer in there. We just got to tighten it up more. And that's just an oversized nut just to take up some space.
You can use washers too if you need, just kind of whatever helps to create that space.
Yeah. So wrench that down. Hopefully it'll be enough distance that you can see that this is starting to level out here, because it's actually pulling it, you know, putting pressure on it. And but I don't know that I'll be able to get that far. And will my nut go up there? Let's see where my threads go. Yeah, I think I'm going to run out of threads. I might have to have either a bigger nut or another nut. Turn on that. And then the other thing too is you got to make sure that it doesn't affect your throttle, the movement of the throttle lever. Whoa, look at that, it squirted all over the car. Okay, look, I'm getting more squirt. Still getting squirt, still getting squirt. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, now I've stopped getting squirt. It goes all the way to here, so I want to see if I can get that last part too.
And be careful while doing this too, to not get gas on things that could spark and create a fire, because that would not be good. And then, you know, don't put your fuel filter in the engine bay.
Oh, that one? Okay, we're still squirting, still squirting, still squirting, still squirting. Okay, we've lost our last little bit.
But I don't think it even goes that far.
Yeah, yeah. So we're a lot better situation now. So it's adjusted. Before the black nut was all the way out to the edge.
And now you can see some threads sticking
Yeah,
out.
you can see it's, you know, a good 6/8 of an inch at least, closer to 3/16 that it has moved.
All right.
So put it back on.
And then while he puts that on, I'm going to show y'all on the duals on SG real quick. All right, now this is SG's dual cadence system, and so you can see I'm moving the throttle, and that one's got play. So these are, I had them adjusted pretty decently. You can't really see the other one back there, but that's the other, maybe. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see the rack top, and then the old man.
The front one, sorry.
You start with the bolt or the nut that's closer to the front of the vehicle. Then as you start snugking that one down, it'll
lift up the rear one, and then when you tighten the rear one, the back one will be tight. Because it's, you know, you can't get much movement in the back one while you're trying to tighten it. And you know, I'm using a stubby 13, which is very useful for this.
And what I've done on some cases is if you loosen the bracket for your coil, at least that one's slotted, you can kind of slide the coil out of the way, and that gives you a little more reach with a regular size 13. But typically the stubby works a little better for not having to remove two things to get one out.
Well, you got to remove the distributor cap. That's just popping a couple of things off.
Clamps off.
Yeah, you're not changing anything that needs to be reset.
When you put that cap back on, make sure you set it back in the notch, or it'll mess a lot of things up. It can mess up your cap, your rotor.
Yeah, you can break a rotor if you got it not on center.
Ask me how I know.
How do you know that?
Happened on the, was it this car?
This car, I basically destroyed a rotor and it kept running. I don't remember what exactly happened, but yeah, I guess at some point I had adjusted or checked the rotor points, whatever, and didn't put it on properly, and thought, you know, of course I thought I did, and yeah, I ended up busting a rotor while I was driving, and they're like, what the heck's going on? You know, it's not the kind of thing you'd expect. You open up your cap and you're like, oh, the rotor is destroyed. How am I going to get home? Well, it worked enough to get home, which is amazing.
Accelerator cable.
Yeah.
Test drive and see how well it does. And give it a few pumps before we start. Right, let's see what happens. So another lesson, check that your wires are connected before you get ready to test drive, because we knocked the coil wire loose.
Yeah, when we removed the distributor cap. It's kind of a cool day here in Texas, and that's why I'm wearing 3 shirts. But we're gonna see how this behaves. One of the bonuses of driving with a half a steering wheel is you got plenty of leg room.
For us taller folks.
Yeah, see, like I can bring my knee all the way past where the steering wheel would be. Now, if I just remember how to drive a stick, that's not an issue. I've driven stick shift since I was 12 years old. Got pulled over my first time, 12 years old. Driving on the beach. My dad was with me, so the cop let me go. Get it warmed up here, and we'll figure out how it's running on gear shifts. You know, how smooth it is. The acceleration through the gear shifting.
Speak up.
So as we're driving here, we're going to figure out if we, you know, if it's smoother through the gear shifting than it was before. Rudolph fell down.
Also, do not be alarmed, that speedometer is about 10 miles an hour off, so we're not speeding.
Sometimes when you want to know how much gas you got, you just got to ask your little girl. See that? The little girl for the stick. The stick broke, so that's one of the those old train sets. They had people you could, you know, mount in your scenery or you glue to the scenery or whatever. I found that one. There was like, you know, half a dozen people in there, and there's this hot chick there, so I put her
another lesson, don't wear headphones while driving because you can roast the motor real quick. That's actually the motor that's in this car now.
What?
Yeah. Left it in third gear on the highway.
I thought that was the 1500.
Nope.
Yeah.
1500 was the one where the flywheel came loose.
Yeah, the throttle response is definitely smoother now. Right after the shift, and
You're not trying to play catch up.
yeah.
Which, another common thing with these cars is with a 009 you'll get a flat spot. With this car doesn't have one of those, but I can attest for that. Whereas on my car, even with duals, you definitely feel a flat spot where like getting off of idle or shifting, when you let off for a split second, the RPMs drop and you kind of got to get over that flat spot.
So this vehicle has a little 1300 in it, and with 1.25 rockers, and it runs great.
Probably our most reliable vehicle, other than Soil Green, of course.
I can get it to where it'll go past the 90 on the speedo, which is minus 18 miles an hour. So 72. Folks, successful accelerator pump adjustment, and the test drive proved that it's working better, and I'm happy with it. Maybe some more little fine tuning. I think I got the adjustment on the throttle cable a little bit off because it feels like my pedal's a little bit more on the floor, but I don't know.
That's a quick fix.
Yeah, it's just loosen it and readjust it. But yeah, it's running good. All right, let's go get something to drink.